Hey everybody. It's about 9 o'clock p.m. on July the 8th, 2022 in the United States of America in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My name's Dr. Kyle, aka Dr. Vulcan Wolverine. Um, I just wanted to do an update. I haven't made a video in a while. I'm kind of trying to be careful because of my targeting, but by no means can we quit or will we quit. But it's just that, and this is my hearing aid. It just gets, it's like my ear. It kind of gets suction, so it doesn't work, and I gotta kind of adjust it. Um, I hope y'all are doing okay. I just wanted to do an update. I know the world's kind of in chaos, and we're all being pressed upon. But I did want to give an update. I'm looking bigger. I visited my parents before 4th of July in Florida, and I ate very good. I ate very well. Because if there's one thing, it's like even though my mom isn't like, doesn't know how to like fix the targeting or anything like that, which I don't expect her to, she gives me great food. And I have great parents. But I guess I just want to do an update. Man, I don't even know what I want to talk about. Um, I get on these videos and I always want to present things as is hopeful and stuff like that. I also want to talk about how bad my targeting is, but the hopeful things in it too. Um, I'm going in a good direction on my personal targeting. I guess I don't want to talk too much about specifics of like where I think things are. I have external and biometrics and like leads in my body, and I'm figuring out some things, but I don't know how much because I keep saying, oh, well, it's like here, blah, blah, or here, and I'm trying to like do it backwards, kind of back engineer what's going on with me. And I think I got a pretty good bead on what's going on, but I kind of want to like wait on that and like work on the things that I'm moving forward with that on. But I do want to say, I'll say this. God, I have a big mouth. No, I just want to say this in general. I want to say this in general from what I know about my situation. And one of the things that you wouldn't think would be dangerous for mind control, I guess if you were a normal person, but these pills, right? That they're going to start putting transceivers in, and they're going to start doing a whole lot of medicine like this. I do have a concern that these might hook to the stomach, and the stomach has a lot of nerves in it. I'll tell y'all. I guess I kind of gave it away. I think baby. I think when and this is really bad. These little things that nobody biometrics and stuff we're putting in our body and bio nanotech and stuff like that. And I guess doctors don't really understand how something so small can be so dangerous. Like we've lived it, and I've lived it, and I'm figuring out like biometrics, like something very small can like change your whole life. And things that doctors like were offering me Pepto-Bismol for, they were like, I guess, told like, oh, it's just upsetting his stomach because it's blah 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 biometrics to the esophageal thing. These things can like be used to choke you and like run directed energy up the vagus system to the brain and stuff like that, and people just don't have a grasp on that. um, so one good thing I'm seeing, like in general, is like this mega plan that the globalists are trying to put through. It's like laughable. Their ego is way too big, and they really bad intelligence, like downgrading the human species and just going, oh, they're idiots, and we can take them out really easy. I think that underestimation kind of gets them. And I'm seeing that in my own targeting situation, this little fractal, where it's like the attackers on me now they weren't the attackers I had the whole time during this thing, but for the overt targeting they were, and they had to be for the program to run, and then to go, oh, this guy's a little piece of junk and he can just be Zerzet's on. They gave my attackers the wrong information, like about me and about who I was and everything, and now it's just like a really big mess of a situation that's not being taken care of the way they want it to, and it's not going away the way that I want it to. You know, I don't know. It's hard when I get on the video. It's like I have so much to talk about. I wanted to make a video where I kind of just talk about what's been on my mind for the last, I think, 2 weeks. I think it's been about 2 weeks since I made a video. Um, but so then I can like put some information out without blabbing too much. But then I'm in a situation with my targeting where I'm like, well, I don't want to, kind of want to just hold on that because I'm working on that and stuff like that. Um, but I hope y'all are doing okay. I hope everybody's just hanging in there. Just prepare with food and prepare spiritually. I guess I did. I don't know. It was tough. Like going down to July. Like not July. I didn't stay till July 4th. What did I do on my Independence Day in America? I don't really remember. The trauma-based mind control and rape and remote rape were so bad in my sleep that I don't really remember what I did. I am pretty sure I played some video games and sat in my condo. Um, but it's like I went down to see my parents and my aunt and did I make a video about this? Maybe I dreamt this. My aunt and my like my cousin's wife. So my cousin-in-law and her daughter, my niece, we all hung out, and it was fun. And like since I've been using the magnets, I've felt better, but it goes so far that my attackers like trick me, and then they make me feel like I'm fixing kind of everything right. But then I went out with my cousin and my little niece, and then they would like stimulate all the muscles in my neck, and I had trouble talking, and I felt uncomfortable. And it's like that's a tough thing, and I guess it's like maybe one of the least things to complain about this, but it's like I'm like, man, I want to be a dad someday or something, and the world's going crazy, but I want to be a dad, and I'm going to be a mentor to my niece and my nephew. She's like, I think she's just going into college or something, and it's like because of what I've been going through all these years and the family and everything, she's the one being nice to her kind of mentally ill uncle, and that's hard. That's a hard energy to deal with. Um, Stuff like that all the time. And I swear, like, I mean, Florida's a conservative state, but I've never been vehicularly stalked so much. So I don't know what they think in their heads. They're doing communist gang stalking in the most conservative state in the United States. So, but it's rough. I'm so tired. Like, I'm like, it's weird because I'm tired. The longevity of the torture is definitely the worst thing about it. Even the intensity cannot compare to how long this goes on, and it doesn't stop, and it's in your sleep and everything like that. But I'm like, miraculously, right? This is a time of nightmares and miracles. Getting help from God and getting help from good, and just a lot of things that happened in my life that kind of brought me down a trajectory of digging and trying to figure out what was going on with me. And it's relieving some of the, oh my God, if I don't stop this, like I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to maybe lose my life. So I'm very thankful for those things. I'm very thankful for life, ironically. Maybe more thankful for life now that these things, it's like I found this. I guess I really want to talk about these things. I think I am gonna maybe I can put this on YouTube and just say some positive things right now, because like, a whole bunch of negative. I want to talk about a lot of things like the cattle, the thousands of heads of cattle that died, right? And also the January 4th parade shooter was a targeted individual. Like he was a definite targeted individual who he had V2K, and they were telling him to go do that, and he was like, I'm under mind control, I can't even stop it or whatever, which is not the way to think about this stuff. I want it to get an article and everything on that. It's a lot of dark stuff that is so planned and is worked on every day, and it's like they're talking about everything else besides stop using directed energy to mind control people. Stop using directed energy to torture, trauma-based mind control, and mess with people and get them to go do stuff like that. Then you won't have as much of it, right? But they already know that, right? The intelligence agency they're doing it more. Like they're doing it more, and then they're like, we got to take y'all's guns and everything. But then they're going to use that to, microwave more people. That's what they're doing. This is, and I'm gonna post something by Jason Burmis. Jason Burmis, check him out. Like a lot of people shy away from directed energy, nanotechnology, targeting, and stuff like that. He hits on some of the things that DARPA has said in the timetables and things like that. Now, 2020 till 2020 on is the nanobio era. So what they've done with the candy, the pricky prick is nanobio. Is filling people up with another redundant system layer, and then now we may not be hearing from them too much right now because they're working on like getting an internet of bodies and getting it all organized. So nobody's talking about that. Jason Burmis does. Jason Burmis is talking about like some of those plans and stuff like that. But I wanted to say this. When things are darker, when things are the darkest, and by no means is my life like a cakewalk, and I'm just like, oh, this is great. I'm trying. I do think we have to find joy in the persecution. Now, what exactly that means for each of us, it may be different, but I know this: when the nightmare is bigger, the miracle, the silver lining that God will jump in there and can bestow upon the situation is bigger. And that's just a balance of life. I feel like I'm entitled to say, not white entitlement, that was a joke, y'all. But just I'm entitled to say that because like I've lost so much. I've lost a normal life, I've lost a lot. People in my family have been hurt. Relationships. It's been tough. It's tough for a target individual. Like everything is. But I've also experienced like, if we trust in God, this was a thing. Like if I'm in the mindset, and this is so tough, it's about focus too. You kind of know this maybe, or you don't, or whatever, but you got to focus on it. And this is going to be a tough one for some target individuals out there. It's tough for me, but when I'm in the mindset of this just happened to me, like this just happened to me, and other people it doesn't happen to, and these are just variables, and it's just really unlucky, and there's no blah blah blah, and all this stuff happened. It's just variables, and it's just my bad luck or whatever. I kind of fall. Like I can't work with that. I don't have anything to work with, in spiritually, right? And it's not about like, I don't think I've ever really believed that, but you kind of lose track. You kind of get a little bit knocked down, and you're not paying attention. But let me get a little bit. I'm gonna get a little bit nerdy here because I have to. So I was watching videos about the Flash, and the Green Arrow is telling him. And I think I've said this on a video once, but it just struck me like lightning. Green Arrow is like, Barry, I don't think that lightning just hit you by chance. I think that lightning chose you. And it just hit me inside, like, and I've seen it before, but you kind of lose things like that along the way when you're targeted for just, decades. But it hit me, and I was like, oh yeah, that's where I can be, right? Because I've been there before during the targeting, but you kind of get just swatted, and you can barely think and stuff like that. You lose track of the things that gave you strength, and your attackers are working on those things to kind of erase them from your memory and shit like that. But when I go to that place, because this was, I don't know if I'll, when I eventually explain things, and I don't know how I'm going to explain it, because it was from my birth, from when I was born. The hospital did this to me. They put stuff in me that then brought me down a road of getting more stuff put in me, and then not just having the stuff put in me being used for biometric experimentation, but then adding external, overt torture with directed energy. So, like something, a little thing from when I was born, created this huge big bad. But it seems like all along the way, God has been like putting things into my life and driving me towards things that have given me strength, and have almost been so on the nose about what's going on with me. And it just hits like a freight train. Like, what if this lightning chose you? So just think about that, and it'll get you in a better place. Look at what's happening in the world. Look what time it is, right? Good thing. Here's a good thing. Here's another good thing. But look what time it is, right? And God needs people. He needs people who are going through these things where remote neural manipulation, mind control, perceptual reassignment, right? Those are the challenges. That's the war. And that's what we're fighting with the mind control and everything like that. So we've kind of been given a little bit of a advanced course in what's going on, and we're going to have to, help people. Like, I feel like it's crazy stuff. I know it's crazy stuff, and for some of y'all, you're like, you don't, like, you have the right. You have the right to be like, I was tortured for so long, I don't owe anybody anything. You have that right to do that. But I feel like, I have information, and whether I'm doing videos on here, helping my family, whatever I have to do to like get through this targeting and also help people. And it may not be because we're facing remote targeting. Like, I tried to pull up an article about the January 4th parade shooter yesterday, and then my computer just froze up. So I think my attackers are like, when I get things ready for a video, they're trying to set the AI up to do certain things. Like, I don't want to say this, but every time I've done a video, certain things happen, and it seems like they're trying to get an AI kind of automate it. Whenever he does a video, this is going to happen. So I'm kind of up against like way more than just even brain censorship or YouTube censoring me or anything like that. I think I know why. Like, I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, but I'm genuine. Somebody said that once to me, and I go, oh, that's why they're so scared of me. Like, I didn't even realize it until an older, wiser lady said that about me just on a comment, and I was like, oh, that's why they're so freaking scared of me. It's not because I'm ultra smart, it's just because I'm genuine and I tell the truth. Be genuine and tell the truth, and know what you're talking about, and you are, the hierarchy's going to be really scared of you. Like, really, really. They're not scared of violent people. They see, that's what I was thinking of. I'm sorry. Like, I just want to do a quick update. Because I'm like working on things. I don't want to say too much specific stuff right now. I'm gonna do some articles and post some things too, so y'all can keep track of what's going on. What was I gonna say? I kind of lost what I was gonna say. But it's a really important thing. This mind control thing, this Internet of Bodies, right? And you've got, we have a soul. So you got that guy, Yuval Noah Harari or whatever, so dangerous, saying that we're just hackable animals. This is kind of a point that I was like trying to impress upon my attackers. This guy who's saying we're only hackable animals and we're about to learn that we don't have souls, right? Well, that's a setup, right? Look what they're doing to the world. They're making people more animalistic. They're making us kill each other. They're making people like starve and like get more animalistic, right? And then they're going to come out and say, you people are animals. We're going to have to hack and control you, right? Y'all don't really have a soul. So they're creating all this, and then they're coming in and going, oh, it's all y'all are just animals, right? So what they do with the targeting, they stay on your whole life, torture you, mind control, isolate you, make it so in a lot of us, we go to jobs while we're being tortured for years and years and years, and then our bodies just can't do it, right? But and then they're like, oh look, this person, they're not working, they're just useless feeders, right? So that's the whole. I see the whole false flag reality that they want to create, with not only just with the whole world, with all the human beings in the system, is like create something and then blame the person without power, right? Um, yeah, I can't. I had a lot that I wanted to say, but I'm kind of drawing a blank. I just woke up. I am feeling better physically. They can still do the memory thing. I mean, I do think that I have external stuff as well. The internal things that pump directed energy through my body, they intensify everything. They give my attackers more to work with, right? With the external remote neural manipulation. So getting that down, it gives me. I didn't know how bad. I didn't know what was going on with me. Like I want, yeah, I went. That's a tough one because I'm like, I don't know. I want to kind of not stick on me so much because a lot of people are hurting right now. Um, a lot. Oh, this is an idea. Because I feel like I actually. Um, I'll just say it. I think when I was a little baby, I got biometrics in the stomach. I think that I got one like at the beginning of the stomach and then the end of the stomach when I was a baby because I was like sickly and they did tubes or something down there, put those in, and then when I was 10, I got an autoimmune disorder all through the digestive system from here down to my very end of my digestive system. We all know where that is. Ulcers all along it, and I think that's because when I was a little baby, and I'm not quite sure about the left foot. Right, I need help from a doctor. That's why I didn't want to go into this, but I'm almost like 100% sure stomach and some some very what I don't know how to say the word. Uh, some very what's that word that you use? Some um, just very kismet type God getting in the situation. Certain people too in my lives. It kind of pushed me towards finding it, and so I just want to thank God, and I just want to thank all the good people like in the world that helped me with my situation. Because there's a lot of people around my situation that kind of helped me to get there to where it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna lose my mind and die. Um, so really big stuff. It's hard to talk about it because like I'm always like we've got to just be tough. We got to be as tough as we can be. We've almost got to be unprecedented evolution, right? Unprecedented evolution. The mongoose, the regenerations, right? They had um, they had genetic memories of what they were facing, and they passed that on. And the skin actually developed and evolved to be able to block the cobra's bite. Um, so unprecedented new things, unprecedented evolution, and God helps us with that. Boy, I'm really drawing a blank. I just like maybe I'll make another video later. I'll go ahead and put this one out. I'm gonna post some things too. So much to talk. There's so much going on, and the country's downfall is not a small one. Um, it's not a small one. I'll make some shorter videos. I guess that maybe that's a good sign that I'm kind of like because I can tell I'm just kind of like thinking more about what I'm saying and stuff like that. It's a big difference. Like it's a scary difference. And it's scary that I didn't know. Um, and I was always wondering, I was like, because people were using the Dave Hayes CD and all these things and my attackers like psyoped on a lot of those things. They did help, but my attackers would make me think they were helping more because they were trying to cover up that I had biometrics in my body. And so there were other people who I think, other target individuals who maybe don't have biometrics, maybe nanotechnology and stuff like that, where Dave CD and a lot of other things, it was almost like, oh man, that fixed my targeting and stuff like that. And I was like, why is that not doing it? Why is it still why am I still battling this all the time? But now it makes a ton of sense. And excuse me on that one, but whenever the things are happening, that happens, and then I can't show y'all, but at the top of the stomach, there's this little esophageal sphincter, and that's why I think that the my biometric, one of them at least, is like right there. The doctors all offered me Pepto Bismol, and then when they're messing with that thing, I'll burp. It'll go up my esophagus from like the top of the stomach. But like I put the magnet over on my left side, and I was like, well, maybe it's in my colon. I'm not. See, I don't know if I have like one in the end of the colon, one at the beginning of the stomach, one at the beginning of the stomach, one at the end of the stomach, one in the stomach, one at the beginning of the colon, one at the end of the colon. I don't know, because the doctors, when it was over multiple surgeries, and the doctors, when they were putting them in, were not like, oh, we're using this to torture him. So I mean, when they're putting like 1 to 4, 1 to 3 biometrics in the stomach, they're not saying, oh, well, we don't want to put 3 in there because when they're torturing him, it could kill him. They're not even thinking about that, and that's part of my strategy, which I'm not going to talk about, is going to be some things that I can't talk about. I forgot. I was going to say something else. But I totally forgot. Just the evolution thing is so important, and to get that with God, because we're gonna have to. I think that's one of the things now, and we're waiting on God to come. We're waiting on Jesus Christ to come. But what He puts in my heart is like right now we're getting lit up to deal with this stuff. So many people. It's so comical and clownish, and no one's accepting all these big things. Now, some of them have already been kind of done, like to a certain percentage of the population, but it's like I'm seeing that it's not going to plan. These people's egos, right? And how much better they think they are, and have been indoctrinated that they're so much smarter than the human species. But then I think they're getting, how England's Prime Minister, with Boris Johnson, they kicked him out. I think that has to do with people further down the pyramid who aren't necessarily in on the master plan, or different factions or something, like kind of kicking him out, right? Um, oh, it's tough. Like, I'm so tired, but like I see a lot of hope. I get worried about these videos because it's like, man, and I need to be able to do something. The truth, like, not that I would ever like lie or anything like that, but like the situation's so complicated, and my attackers will use that because I'm just precocious and and I try and just be genuine and just say the whole thing, and they try and use that. They do such crazy things to me that if I just do that, I could get in. It could just be bad. It could just look even worse and crazy than it already is. But I don't. The thing is, this is I guess the big kicker, the big bottom line is like this stuff, like mind control, nanobiotech, biometrics. Doctors need to be learning about how serious these things are, because doctors don't, some of them do. Some of them know what can be done with these things. I don't think they understand the pain level. I don't even think our attackers understand the pain level. I don't think they experience the pain level over such a long period of time. They may experience the pain level in a minute, like, oh, let's see how he feels like in a minute, but that's nothing compared to it never stopping, right? So it's a new precedent. It's an unprecedented level of pain where probably take your pain, no matter how bad. I don't know. I don't want to talk for, right now, with my pain right now and the annoyance and the V2K, you do this to me one day or even a year, and you say, we're going to do this to you for a year, and after a year, we're going to stop. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Like, hurts, yeah, freaking hurts, ripped me apart, but it's the longevity of the thing that's so freaking dangerous. And even if somebody, oh, well, here, you can just feel oh, that's not that bad. Like, right, if you have human operators on your thing and they're like, well, feel how much he's in pain for like a minute. It doesn't do it justice, because it's the longevity of the pain, how tired your body is. But like the breakthroughs, it's like two things coming. Like, my body's so tired from the torture, and then I'm finding some miraculous things that are kind of wearing things down. My attackers are professional killers. Like the guy is not like whatever the guys on the human operators, they're very disciplined. It's not it's beyond injustice, the people that they put on me, and the way that they're doing this, and the way that I'm treated while they're doing this, because it's like, I mean, they cover everything that I'm doing, and they spend money on it. And I was kind of thinking about this when I was driving home from the convenience store today. It's like the more money they spend on gang stalkers for me and all this crap, the more that it's like I'm in danger, because they're like, well, we're spending all this money and we gotta just keep on you and keep doing this stuff. So it was a very dangerous thing to have this start when I was a newborn, because the money piles up on top of it, and I'm the big fish. I'm not the big criminal. I'm innocent guy who wants to help people, but I'm a big fish in the targeting world because just the money on top of me, the biometrics in my body and the targeting on top of me, I'm a big fish. But I'm a person trying to do activism, trying to stop any kind of false flags or anything like that, or people going out and hurting themselves or others. It's just whatever kind of money's on you is going to determine how big of a fish you are, because they're making up everything. Like, oh, this person's a terrorist, and we've got to do the gang stalking and all this crap. So even if you're a newborn, you get a biometric put into you, and it rolls you in a medical system. You're going to be this big criminal in society because they put so much money on you for the medical and military experimentation. I've never experienced so much injustice as that. Knowing who I am, knowing how I haven't done anything wrong in my life. Like if smoking weed's wrong, then whatever. But like it's how much money you have on you. So innocent babies that got biometrics are the big fish. They have the most money on them, the most innocent, right? And that goes along with how our society runs, right? Almost targeting the most innocent and the people that we should be protecting the most as a priority, because everything's flipped, right? All right, guys, I've babbled on and this was just a babbler. This was just babbling. I couldn't really. I'll come back with something more specific. I need to write some stuff down, and there's some specific things that I want to talk about. I'm going to have to talk about the January 4th parade shooter. They've got to stop using directed energy to get in people's heads, and then it's like you're going to have a certain percentage of people in the world who are like, I have no control over mind control, and they just go out and do whatever the V2K says. It's a small percentage, but it's enough percentage to create, mass shooting, and they need to stop doing that, and then that'll stop them. They don't need to take people's guns or anything. Like so you got the conservative side saying, well, they need to, check people out more. They need to profile people more. They got to do all this. And then you got the left side saying they just need to take assault rifles away, blah, blah, blah. They need to do this. Neither of those is a solution. And neither of them even helps the symptoms of it. You take away the guns, then it's like then they can come to our doors, and that's why they want to get rid of our guns. That's the only reason, is because the people that they would hire to come to your door and take you away at gunpoint aren't going to go to your door if you have guns. We saw what happened in Australia, so we can say, why do they want to take our guns? Oh, look at what happened in Australia. Okay, well, that's it. And I forgot what other point I was going to make. I love you guys. I'm fighting. I hope y'all are just fighting. We just got to trust in God. It's a time of nightmares and a time of miracles. Stay on the side of miracles, right? Right? We grab for the light. We let the light shine through us and express itself through our mind and our body. If you do this, and I want to mention this too. I've mentioned this before. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm not proud of myself. I've been getting things from God, and this is when you understand what they're creating, right? Directed energy. Satan, the prince of the air, microwave towers, satellites, radar. We got frequencies all in the air, making people sick. It's bad for people's DNA, right? The microwaves, the 5G. It can affect people's brains and give you brain fog and all that stuff, right? It's this artificial frequency system that the people up top of the pyramid, the things up at the top of the pyramid, they're going to hurt us and back engineer us and do all this stuff, right? and then try and get. Well, I don't want to go into that because I know that sounds crazy and I can't prove that. But what I do want to say, bottom line, is we already had this. If you look at the sun, and then we have a chain of creation, there was already in the universe into human beings. Think about your imagination. Think about those things. You have a thought, sometimes you don't know where it comes from. We already had a system of antennas through the universe, and our Creator can still speak to us, speaks to us, will always be able to speak to us. But Satan is trying to become God, right? So you see this artificial communication system, right? So we got this big, the sun is part of a communication system. Light that heals our DNA, produces ATP in our systems, communicates to our brain and our DNA. This was already created. We've already been in the midst of a giant communication system. They're building another little layer, right? And so we need to look at that, and that's what they're trying to do. We already have layers of mystery as a human species that were put on this earth. We already have layers of mystery. Now they're trying to add layers, right? Where to me it's stupid because it's like shooting somebody in the face with a shotgun and going, that's a natural death. But to people who don't know about this stuff, directed energy, and BIOWEAPONS. I want to see if I can maybe get this up on YouTube. I make the weirdest hand gestures on videos because I watch other people doing it, and it's kind of just a subconscious thing where I'll see people going like this, and they seem to have the most views if you have somebody who moves their hands a lot. Okay, I'm sorry, I do that every time. I forgot what I was talking about. But basically, we already had it. God already created a communication system, and we can already send signals to each other naturally. Our brains have natural magnetite in them. Dolphins communicate not sonically. It's with EMF. They communicate through EMF, and we do too. Like we do as humans too. You'll notice that you give off now this the artificial signals, putting that in, it's very dangerous, and it's like it's the decision of maniacs at the top that get to decide who's got the good EMF in their brain, who's communicating with who, what's going on. And it was way more intelligent. It was in infinite times way more intelligent and way better stuff. If you look at us as technology, which we're infinite times more complicated than technology, but we are technology. We were created. Then you look at what Satan wants to kind of create here on Earth to replace us, and that would be like computerized and artificial life, which there's already some of those things, right? And those things could survive with the artificial frequencies of the Earth, right? We get cancer. Our heads can't deal with that. Even if you're doing positive frequencies, sometimes it can still give people cancer and stuff. So I don't know, just some thoughts that I've been thinking. I've been able to think better, but like what Brian says a lot, Brian too says a lot, is very true, and I'm experiencing that, especially with having biometrics shunting, directed energy, and this has been a bio loop through my body and my brain for so many years. It's an adjustment, right? It's almost so okay. I'll go here. My mom, the one thing she told me, don't go there, but with this, we have to go there sometimes. Some of the cringier stuff, it's tough for me though, because it's such big changes, and my attackers, they know psychology of people, and they really want to and this is like practice, and because they don't want me talking about the targeting, but they know what people see as consistent and people will listen to, and the things they do with our body and our brain. Sometimes we're going through these phenomenal changes, and it's like society is set up right now to be like the consistent person is going to be the person most listened to, that gets the authority, that people will, consistency is key, right? And with the targeting, it's like you go through so many changes, and people can just like, people who haven't dealt with this stuff, and even people who have, can sometimes just be like, wow, I mean, you're a totally different person or something like that. I don't know, I haven't had that much, but I get that feeling like all the changes that I'm going through, but I think it's more of a body consciousness, because I've had that since I was little. Then you go through all this stuff and it makes you feel just like, do I, is my body put together? I don't know, man. This targeting does a lot of stuff. I'm healing from it. I hope y'all are healing from it, especially in these times. I want to say this too. People are going to fall away from faith, and they're going to, because things will be so dark, and they'll just be like, oh, there's nothing because things are so dark. And that's not God's fault at all. It's our fault. It's not our fault as just individual humans. It's the people at the top. They've really worked on this. Oh man, they're making me forget a lot of stuff on this one. Um, oh yeah, this. A lot of people are going to fall away from faith, but what's going to happen with that? You hang on to your faith and you hang on to God, your spirituality in the name of Jesus Christ. More light, more light. And I notice, dude, I have felt it from the faithful, from the remnant, from the people who are still following God. I've felt their light grow in these dark times, because nature abhors a vacuum, right? And if there's a lot of people moving away from it, and I don't know if this is bad or good, right? I'm not like, oh yeah, more people moving away. Maybe more people move towards it, right? Later on, but maybe it's going to take that people moving away, then they see these people who hang on, and there's more light to go around, more light to go around to those people. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of just a thought. I would rather everybody come back towards God and that be His plan. But I always pray, and I'm like, we're so outmatched, God. We're so outmatched. Like Satan and this pyramid, like they're doing things on these asymmetrical. They're using AI. They're using AI and algorithms to play out all this stuff on our world, the weather warfare, the financial warfare, the food warfare, and everything, like the warfare, the not so much the natural looking warfare that looks natural, and I'm like, God, why don't you got to come help us. We're just overwhelmed here, and this is it's kind of beyond us a little bit, and what he this is two things, and it is from a movie, but it always, like, God will always kind of like make me think of it. And it's just He says, if I told you, it wouldn't happen. Like, if I told you how all this was going to play out, you wouldn't do what I need you to do. And so He just points to me and He says, I made you and you're connected to me, so just do what you're going to do right now. That's what you need to worry about. That's what God says to me. It's kind of harsh, because I'm like, man, we're so. He's like, if I told you everything and how it was going to play out, and He does. Like, He puts that in the Bible. We read about it, but exactly how and what it's going to look like, God tells me, if I told you everything, if I gave you every detail, and that's not excluding the Bible and those things that He prepares us, but to say exactly how it's going to happen, how He's going to come back. He's like, you wouldn't do what I need you to do, right? So we can kind of think about it that way. Most days, I don't know, man, it's tough, because like most days I'm like, I feel like I'm not doing much, because like I'm working, I have to work with the magnets, I have to wear stuff down. It's like I'm moving, I'm doing something, but the world and my family, it doesn't consider this working, right? Because they're like, they don't even consider it happening. I don't think my mom does, and that's scary, because I don't want to talk about that. They seem to give you little warnings about stuff, and so it's like, if y'all notice it, if it was just me in danger, shit. If it was just me in danger, I'd be like jumping on the videos, but it's got me a little bit where I'm not stopping. I'm not going to stop fighting, but it's just like how all the social media works and the targeting works and like these contractors work and everything. I gotta be a little bit smarter. This is not even smart, putting a video out, but I just couldn't help it. Like, I'm like, I gotta speak out. And I'm gonna be posting some videos. I think that'll be a good, like, the videos that I see that have good information that I come to the videos and talk about. I'm gonna just be posting a lot of those on BitChute. Like I said, Jason Berman, he may be target. So, but he seems to not shy away from this stuff, from the bio nano age, the bio nano age, and that's what DARPA says 2022, or it said 2020 I think, and that's when they started the thingy. The thingy, come get in the van. I got some candy for you. It seems like they're not able to. Well, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get. I've been going for about 45 minutes. Um, I just want to give some positive things. We all need to prepare spiritually, get stronger spiritually, feed that light, and God's gonna feed that light, right? And oh my gosh, it's just so. It's like when this is just. God is not a guess to me. It's not a theory. It's not even faith. It's so concrete. Exactly how the chain of creation works, all the way up to God, Jesus being God. The details of all that stuff. Of course, we can talk about it, but like a greater good all the way at the top. And the things that He's done. Is just concrete, because I've experienced the world. Satan that just kind of attacked me from my birth, and I think it was just by chance. I think it was. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe it's by chance to the world, but Satan knew what he was doing. But then it's like something stepped in, and it's like when you don't let go of that, it'll keep stepping in. It'll keep stepping in. And like I said, my life's not this great thing. I don't go out and party. It's Friday night, and I'm playing the new, what is it? The new Horizon games. I like the Horizon games. I like any game where it's like a good setting, and you're running and you're moving. So the Assassin's Creed games are really good for me. They're really fun. Oh, the Georgia Guidestones too. I need to make a video about that. I thought that it was directed energy that hit them, but I don't think it was. I think that it was a bomb or something, because they had a car driving off. But I'm going to look into that more. I'll be posting some videos on that. I just hope y'all are doing really good. Hope everybody's doing well. We can't look at the world around us and determine that, oh God, everything's bad. We gotta do the opposite, right? We gotta say everything's bad and everybody's hurting, so I gotta be the best that I can be. And this doesn't mean, knowing exactly what to do all the time. One of my lessons is is not knowing what to do and just trusting God, and it's ironic. It's ironic because we see each other, like, through the whole time I've seen people being tortured and I'm being tortured. I'm like, oh my God, they're being tortured as bad as me. I've got to fucking become some kind of like brilliant strategist. I got to become like Iron Man or something, but Iron Man who knows how to use this technology, and just the pressure and then the mind control too and stuff like that, and like kind of wearing some of this down, and kind of getting a little bit backed away from things a little bit. It's God's showing me that, like, I didn't make you to to have this big strategy. I didn't, and I'm not saying I'm dumb or anything, and that I won't come up with any good ideas, but He's just showing me, like, I made you for your heart, dude, and you just need to speak from that. I'll sometimes get away from it because it's like I'm so mind controlled and I'm feeling so. And a lot of y'all maybe I'm feeling just like, oh, like a robot, like I don't have a lot of emotion. I don't know, speaking from my heart, it's like when you're almost dying and you're like a zombie, it's different. So you go over to this strategy side, so getting back there it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge. This is a challenge for humanity though. So I would and I'm not telling any targeted individual what to do. There's different ways to handle all this stuff, but this is the challenge. My attackers have messed with my perception to where I was doing less great things at the beginning, but I felt so much better about myself. And the things that I've done and gone through and accomplished but what's in here, your perception of how you see things and everything. And so it's paramount that we, like, expressed through our souls and our connection with God, and clean all this out, clean our perception out and everything like that. With mind control, it's more than a challenge, because I'm starting to see the brain. I'm starting to kind of see the brain. It's not exactly like a broken bone. It's not exactly like if you break your arm and then you've got to heal. Not exactly, but I don't think I don't think it's exactly as easy as that. But I don't think it's that you can't heal the brain and you can't regenerate neurons or anything like that. I think that the science of the brain and the heart and the stomach and neurology, I guess you call it neurology, but the study of neurons and what happens if you lose them or they're damaged or anything, I think that has been a lie, to make us feel a certain way about certain things that are done to us. I don't know. Still kind of looking into those things. I love you guys. I think I'm going to end it there. I just kind of wanted to do an update. The Blue Angels flew over my parents' place. They do every Tuesday. The Blue Angels, there's like 6 of them, and they're these blue planes with yellow on them. They fly around my parents' place on a Tuesday, and it's not like gang stalking or anything. They do maneuvers, and it's cool. They do it for like an hour, and I took some videos of that, so I might go ahead and put those up. And it's not gang stalking. It's like the first time planes have flown over, and they flew right by the condo and stuff, but it was completely not gang stalking or anything. I had fun. I went and saw Top Gun. That day we went and saw Top Gun. I went and saw it with my niece. We had a good time and stuff like that. It's just I'm weird. And my aunt said something about it. I'm uncomfortable and traumatized, and I'm being targeted. So I don't know. It's after the movie, we go back to my aunt's place, and I'll kind of just walk outside, and I don't realize what I'm doing. But it's when when you're in a social situation, you just go in and you sit with people and you're just talking to them. But I'll kind of find myself, because of the trauma and things that have happened to me, I'll find myself kind of walking away to maybe vape outside or something like that. And I guess I don't notice it, but it's it's insulting to people. It's like they feel like I don't want to talk to them or something like that. But it's not. It's like being attacked, and I'm trying to be there, but I'm also dealing with this too, right? And for millions of years, while you're being murdered and tortured, trying to hang out with your family, and they're in a hey, we're comfortable and we're joking around and stuff like that, and you're I'm trying to be here, but I'm being murdered at the same time, and it just it doesn't end. It's tough to say the least. But we got bigger fish to fry now. I just all this stuff's happening in the world, and it's all really bad. But I was well, shouldn't we have at least gotten what y'all were saying was true? Because we see it all happening. Targeted individuals were right. They were talking about something real. We got Havana syndrome, and then we got all the nano stuff going on. Obviously, what these people were saying, it's we see how they want to digitize everything and digitize biology and everything. Well, what these people have been saying all along, which we kicked them in the face for, why don't we go back and say, oh, well, we see it now? No one said that. I haven't heard one person. All these people who just these people are crazy and mentally ill. I don't know why. I haven't heard that. It's so crazy. It's just the whole topic just disappeared. It hasn't disappeared. We're talking about it, and people are talking about it in certain ways, but the whole being targeted, it's an it's embarrassing. I look at James Munder. He got into a car wreck, and y'all know, I hope y'all know who James Munder is. I forgot the name of his second channel, but he got into a car wreck. He was targeted. Just the sweetest guy. He's a smart guy, but he never, he didn't want to deal with it. He was oh, the 5Gs may be hitting me. He didn't want to come out and be a targeted individual, right? Nobody wants to be a targeted individual. I don't want to be a targeted individual. I did hear one. It was a forgotten individual, which makes a lot of sense, because it's we're kind of just oh no, we don't want to hear about that or anything. I don't know. I'm making strides with it. Things are changing, and this can also change. Big things can change. Big things can change in your individual situation. I was telling somebody because we were talking about it, and they, like, so many people, like, I can't take. They were saying, I can't take this anymore. Like, I really just can't take. It's too much. My body's too tired, and I can't even just take it. It's too much, and I'm just like, it is, and this is with anything that's going on with you, even the craziest things with targeting. It's a very thin red line between, like, I can't even move and I'm paralyzed, can't think, I feel like I'm dying, and I've had multiple near-death experiences where I feel like I've come out of my body. But it's a thin red line between that and then being kind of comfortable, depressed because of remote neural manipulation. But it's and then the V2K, but it's like an annoyance. You can still do things in life and things like that, right? With me, it's going on so long that the level of it, I'm trying to get there mentally and spiritually, but they're hooked to me. Just them being hooked to me, and I can hear the V2. They make sure if I get the V2K down, it's like they'll go on a different path or a different thing to make sure that the V2K is there. And just them being connected to me, it's like even if I'm not in the midst of like dying pain, where I feel like I'm still unhappy. I'm still like with the V2K, it's too hard to do things, to be there, to be focused. I'm working on them though, and I am getting somewhere, um, with God's help. I love y'all. I love y'all. I'm gonna be back. Talking just about some things that are going on, things that are connected to targeting. This is like, I mean, it's happening to everyone. Um, this kind of stuff is happening, and it's people should be talking about it. And it seems like we're still far away from people talking about this, like in the way that it's like happening right now. Like people are being hooked up to directed energy, their nervous system and stuff, and the little things that, I mean, they can put something in your freaking stomach and just have that, and no nanotechnology in your body or anything. It can mind control you. It can send pain through your body. It can do a lot of things. Now, I do think this because, like, I don't think I had the leads in my clavicle, stomach, or legs until my surgery when I was like 27 or whatever. So 28, 27, 28, 2009. I think it was 2009. It was 2007 or 2009. I can't remember. I'm gonna find out about that. I'm gonna get all the records and everything of that. Um, and then I forgot what I was saying about it. No, oh, the leads. I don't think I got any leads, and these are little filaments, and I can see the scars. I don't think any of that. I think at Ochsner I got 2 PICC lines, but what had happened? I think that when I was a newborn, I got implant biometrics in my stomach. And then that caused Crohn's disease, and I already had those. I went to Ochsner, they put PICC lines, they did a fistula surgery. I don't know. I don't know if they maybe put another one in my colon because it was like, then it was dogpile on it. It was like he's already got something in him, so we're gonna bring him to this rung of the thing, right? So I got rolled. I got rolled by the medical industrial complex experimentation, and then rolled into training, research, and development for the military industrial complex with these independent contractors that should not be doing. It's treason to do this to American citizens. But I've said that a million times. All right, I love y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. I should have talked about some of that stuff. That I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a video about it. But I just wanted to say hey, and it's a thin red line. It's a thin red line. You know, get in your spiritual space. Get in your spiritual space. That's what helps me. If I'm not in my spiritual space, it's very, very difficult. In that spiritual space, God will bring you along to physical things. God can change reality. Like God can change physically. It won't seem like that. It won't seem like that. So don't be expecting that. Don't be expecting the blocks of reality to change around you, right? Because that's not how it works. But God can change reality, and you won't notice. It'll seem like, oh, that's something that's maybe was there the whole time, or like what? But He'll do it. He'll do it to where even your attackers, like these people that up at the top of the pyramid, they can't even tell how that works, right? And I think that's one of our greatest strengths here in all this is they're experimenting. They're experimenting. Not our attackers, the top of the pyramid, with what they're doing, what they're trying to do to become gods, right? To have this break off civilization. They're experimenting. So they've made really, really bad miscalculations on what we are and what we're capable of, what our potential is, right? So that's a great thing. Let's end it in a prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus Christ. Dear Lord, just thank you for our lives. Thank you for each other. Thank you for our strength. Please send any targeted individual who's just at their wits' end. They feel like they're dying. Send them some kind of miracle healing, some kind of defense into their path, someone to help them out, and just get us through this. Get humanity through this and make us stronger through the darkness. Make us shine the light even brighter. Come back soon. Come back soon. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus Christ. I love you guys. And I'll see you on the next one.